to the Saturday Morning Breakfast Club podcast. I'm Diana.
And I'm Joyce.
And you're listening to episode 63 of our podcast. We are here at the Hillbrook Inn and Spa, and it's fabulous, right, Joyce?
Oh, it's absolutely glorious. It's glorious in terms of what we learned, in terms of the people we learned it with, the food we ate, the facility. I mean, it's just beautiful.
And sitting in between us, we'll definitely see a rose between thorns, right?
Oh, without question.
Is Brigitte Elliott. Brigitte was our instructor for the weekend. Hi, Brigitte.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm on cloud nine. I have never had such a fabulous group of students and people surrounding me.
Yeah, and so I think we should probably start by talking about where we're at right now at the Hillbrook Inn and Spa. We're in the lower living area. We're not going to call it a basement. I don't think this room we're in could be called a basement, right?
The stone walls are exposed down here, and it's just, first of all, it's cool, which is lovely. physically cool. And there's a huge pool table and lots of comfy furniture, a gigantic television, which I can't imagine we would turn on. But it's just another enhancement of the beautiful house and the beautiful property.
And maybe talk about the upstairs where we held the classes and what that room looks like as well.
My guess would be that it was probably the dining room. That's kind of what it looks like off this gigantic kitchen.
Yeah.
And we had comfy chairs and good lighting, and it was really nice because we were all in the same classroom. It was a classroom, but we were together, so we could chat with each other, help each other, ask questions, because Brigitte was on call all weekend long. And then if people wanted to go off in the evening to knit, there were, I don't know how many buildings, there, you know that, more buildings than I know, where people actually stayed. But people stayed here in the evening and knitted in the classroom, knitted in the living room. We had coffee, tea, whatever, and then, of course, the food was fabulous. But there were a lot of places that you could go to in this building and still be within earshot of everybody else, which was nice.
And you talked about Brigitte being on call. It was like till 10 o'clock at night or something like that, right?
It was.
Was it 10?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, see, I lose track of time because I have such a good time. And people are interesting. They ask great questions. I get to know them. And what the heck? Why not, right? They were all ears and listened carefully and had the fortitude to ask great questions without feeling like they were going to feel like, oh, geez, does this make me look dumb or whatever? Not at all. They asked great questions. And so they actually allowed everyone else to learn something from that question.
Right, that's true.
And there's just so much information involved in this, so there's learning that takes place by asking questions too.
We've been talking about how great the whole weekend has been, how much the participants have enjoyed it, which we've heard from lots of people, and now you'll get to hear from some individual participants talking about their experience.
For the podcast listeners who haven't obviously been to this facility before, to Hillbrook, explain it for folks.
Well, when I first got here and realized everything, it's all spread out among a lot of gorgeous West Virginia countryside. And when I first got here, that actually stressed me. I thought, oh my God, we have to drive everywhere. And within the first afternoon, I got it. And how lovely it was and how nothing was a problem. The inn is kept as if you're in your own home's best side. Everything is available. There's water, and it's just there. And there's fireplaces in the rooms, and it's a completely different experience. And the food was 5-star dining.
Yeah, I got to sit next to you at dinner last night, and it was funny. You kept saying, enough, stop with the food.
So even breakfast had 2 courses. When was the last time you had a 2-course breakfast? We had, to begin with, we had an apple, the first course was an apple dumpling. The apples were picked from this property last night to prepare for our breakfast. How cool is that? The second course they called Egg in a Hat, and it was, pretty sure they baked their own bread, but it was their bread with an egg baked in it with a piece of ham, fresh chopped tomatoes, and microgreens on top. It just was extraordinary. Every meal was really extraordinary.
Well, I have to say, you have been a delight. I'm so excited that you're coming back next year.
That's another thing that blows my mind. Out of all the people that came, there's maybe 2 that aren't coming back. Which, I don't know about you, but as a small business owner, that's like 50% were like wildly excited. We did a great job. And I think Campbell's Soup considers 47% satisfaction.
We're beating Campbell's Soup.
We're beating Campbell's Soup. This is the most incredible, positive, community-minded people I've ever had the pleasure of spending a weekend with. And honestly, I believe I will. You know how you always, after a weekend, say, oh, let's all keep in touch? I really feel we will keep in touch, this group.
I think so, too.
Diana, I can only wish that this brings you more and more joy, because you bring so much joy to the people who come here. You bring joy and love and community and sharing. And
Thank you, Leslie. All right, Miss Marcy, it's time for history. We'll do the giveaway after Marcy. What I love, and I've heard it at least 4 times, but I still, I get excited all the time. She talks about the history of the location we're at today, and the significance of the owners and what they did. And so, can you share, please?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. This house, the Hawthorne Estate, is still a part of the prominent political bird family, and we kind of manage it for them as part of Hillbrook. And it dates back to the 1800s. These front 2 rooms were the original, and then they were eventually connected, and then the rest of the house.
so that is original log.
Yes, there was plaster that covered it. Yep, and a lot of the stone is original as well. The other exciting thing is later for the trunk show, you're going to be in the exterior building over here, and that used to be a doctor's office in the 1800s. So we use it as a conference room now. But, yeah.
Thank you, Marcy.
You're very welcome.
So I am joined by Alexis and her daughter Chris. They traveled a long way for this retreat. I'll let you guys share with our podcast listeners about your commute. I'll call it a commute here to the Hillbrook.
I came from Meridian, Mississippi to Athens, Alabama to pick up Chris. And we went to Knoxville, Tennessee, and we brought everything we have except the kitchen sink.
So how's your retreat been for you?
We've had the best time. The group of people that have been here are absolutely fantastic. We couldn't have picked a better retreat to come to.
I'm so glad.
And the staff here is really phenomenal.
What's been your favorite part?
Knitting. I don't know, the group of women here.
Yeah.
They are. The group of women that came to this. Some of them, I just love them. But I've got new best friends out there.
It's funny how that happens.
I've just known them a few days, and some of them I feel like I've known my whole life. I wish we lived closer together.
I do too. We'll have to move to Virginia. Time. This is our first retreat, and we've just had an excellent experience. You've just made everything good for me. And Brigitte is an excellent teacher.
Great.
And she has a lot of patience because I tried it.
So what do you think about swing knitting? Do you have it down, you think?
I do.
She does. I don't. I thought I did.
I'll work with her.
You'll help Mom out?
Yeah, I'll help Mom out.
She'll help me.
Well, I just want to make sure you guys have a very safe commute home. I can't wait to see you 12 months from now.
We're so excited. We're going to be counting down the days till we come back. And we're excited about some of the group that's coming back, too, that we're just looking forward to seeing some of these girls again.
I'll be calling Chris saying it's only 320 days. It's only 275 days.
And what about your husbands? Did you tell them you're coming back already?
I haven't told mine. She has told
I've
her.
told mine.
He won't have a problem with it as long as he doesn't have to pay for it.
Right.
And it was Mom who told you about it, right?
I just happened to see it on Interweave, and I said, "Oh, Chris, would you like to go to Ireland?" She said, yes, how much is it? I said, about $5,000. She said, no. I said, would you like to go to West Virginia?
So that sounds more affordable. I don't think we would have had as much fun as we had here.
Probably not. People probably wouldn't have understood us in Ireland. They don't have the country twang, and they don't have the country philosophy that we have.
When I lived in New Jersey, people would say, can you say something? Anything at all. Just talk.
Well, I love you both. I'm so thankful you came. Please drive careful, and I can't wait for 365 days to see you again. Okay, giveaway time. So I've got 2 tricolor kits. One is linen, but 2 different kinds of linen. One is Shibuya and one is wandering wool linen, but 2 tricolors. And whoever number we call first gets to pick which color they want.
Right.
Okay, this one is 659 12 0 8. So I'm joined by Katherine. This is Katherine's second year attending the Swing Knitting Retreat. How did it go this year for you?
It was really wonderful. Yeah, I mean, both sessions were really wonderful, but this was really kind of neat because it's a whole different shawl. And then we were just talking out there about the dynamic of the group this year. It was a really fun group. And there was a lot of people who were acting up and making things fun, and the rest of us were laughing in it. And and so it was really just very enjoyable meeting up with other knitters, same interests, and we're learning something, but we're also having a lot of fun.
How was Hillbrook for you this year?
Yeah, I mean, the meals were wonderful. The serving staff, you really do kind of feel, like the family.
Absolutely. And you're actually coming to our brioche retreat as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're bringing your mom.
Hopefully, yes. We both agreed that March, would do the brioche and get it on the calendar so that Dad doesn't schedule some vacation like he did this year.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Great, thank you. And thank you very much again for running the retreats and running these clubs and just being an easy-to-reach person, easy to deal with.
Thank you, Katherine.
You're welcome.
Everybody had such a good time. And again, we do lots of retreats, but this one really was by far one of the best. And I think it was lots of things that helped make that happen. The instructor, the participants, the food, the location, all of those things. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to come back.
Right. And Brigitte will be back with us.
We added another retreat.
So next year, same time, same place. Domino Knitting.
And we'll have all the information on our website. But can you explain to podcast listeners exactly what Domino Knitting is?
Basically, you're making mitered squares. So if you're looking it up on Ravelry or YouTube or whatever, it's mitered squares. So the Domino Knitting book by Vivian Hawksborough was originally published in Norwegian in 2000. So I've owned this book for a really, really, really long time. And there are a lot of potholders, actually, at the beginning so that you learn how to make mitered squares with one color of yarn, multiple colors of yarn, and then put I-cord borders, which, of course, I love. I love everything I-cord. And there are other more complicated patterns later on in the book, but it's a fun thing. And I brought it with me because my intention was to make a baby blanket. And so I had a little square that I had practiced, and I thought, well, if I have extra time, which of course I didn't, I would just play with it. So that's why I happened to have it. But there was another woman who had a
Leslie.
shawl that she had worked on, and someone else who had made a baby blanket. So there was a lot of that. And then one of the women had Swing Swagger Drape. Is that the name of the book? Mm-hmm. And that's also mitered squares. So there were a lot of us who were brainwaving mitered squares.
And so Brigitte agreed to teach it. And so
It's interesting. If the books have survived, I can find them. They are written by Horst Schultz, who had some phenomenal designs done by this method. And the books are extremely inspirational. And so combined with that and the Vivian Hawksborough and the Susan Slicer Smith book, I think we can come up with a pretty dandy project amongst the three of us to decide what to present next year.
And it'll
that-
give people a chance to play with color too,
Oh,
which a lot of
yeah.
people were really excited about this year.
So it's going to be a fun getting ready for the upcoming retreat, I guess a year from now. Brigitte, it's amazing to have you here again. Second year, we're going to do 3 times in a row.
Hands down. I would move the earth to be here. Are you kidding?
But you are absolutely wonderful as always. I think there's just no question about it. You helped to make this retreat
Thanks.
as wonderful as it is.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's your teaching style, it's your kindness, it's your willingness to stay up till 10 o'clock at night, 2 nights in a row to help people understand the concept and are sitting at night. All of that makes the retreat what it is, so thank you.
You are welcome. Entirely.
It was here. It was wonderful.